going on, folks? You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm back. If you guys weren't aware, I did a video last week detailing kind of a broad overview for people that may find themselves buying their first firearm in light of everything going on with coronavirus and things like that. So it became apparent to me, first while editing the first video and then with all the questions and stuff I was getting after the fact, that I needed to kind of go into more depth. So here's going to be part 2 of a 3-part series, with that first video being part 1. So a lot of what I'm going to cover today is going to pertain to rifles. Not just any rifles, but we're going to focus mainly on the AR-15 and the AK variants. For the purpose of discussion, because the AK I have is 7.62 by 39, the cartridge that it takes, that's what we're going to be talking about. The AR I have is chambered in 5.56, so we're going to be kind of looking at those two rounds in those platforms. That's kind of the starting point for this discussion. If you watched my first video, the consensus that I tried to stay unbiased, but I did kind of end up leaning heavily towards something like this as far as a long arm goes. And the reason for that is, I mean, it's versatile, it's lightweight, it's customizable for the end user, ammo is plentiful and relatively light as far as rifle rounds go, and it's just an excellent multi-use rifle if you had to use it for such. You can hunt medium to small game with it, you can defend your home. It kind of is what it is. It is the gold standard as far as a multi-use long arm, in my opinion, and apparently a lot of other people's opinion, as it is America's most popular rifle. That being said, I think it would be unfair to discount another rifle. This rifle, we have the AK-47. So this is a Wasser 10. It's nothing special. It's very indicative of what most rifles that you find in this platform are going to look like. I haven't done anything to it. It uses a 30-round detachable magazine. This one is steel and definitely has seen better days, but still works. They do have polymer mags and things like that available. We'll talk more about the rounds here in a second, but there's just a kind of an overview of what they look like. These guns, they're very popular. Worldwide, I would say that this is probably one of the most popular weapons ever manufactured. They're relatively cheap to make, relatively simple to use, and they have a reputation for unwavering reliability, which is largely true in my experience. These things will run and run and run. As you can see, the length of pull from the stock to the grip is going to be fixed, so that it is not customizable for the end user. And for big guys like me, it's kind of obvious these were made with smaller people in mind. The grip itself you could change out. You could change this out for a different stock, etc. But as they come out of the box or crate or whatever, this is what you're left with. You have a safety lever here. Up is safe, down is fire. Charging handle is here, and that's how these work. So they run permanently. For you longtime viewers, the dog has started barking, even though I have not shot and I am not shooting today. He is wound up just from that noise, so he's probably wondering what happened to me. But the sights are adjustable for elevation. Just an all-around good gun. They're light, they're common, or were common, and the ammunition is common now. People just getting into firearms, you may or may not be aware of what we like to call caliber debates, caliber pissing contests. That's where proponents or supporters of a certain caliber for each gun, most of it's in good nature, but they like to stack their caliber up against other people's chosen caliber. So 45 ACP guys, as far as handguns go, like to throw dirt on 9mm guys, and back and forth, back and forth. Rifles are not immune from that. Here we have the magazines for each of these guns. Here's your AR-15 mag, here's your AK mag. They both hold 30 rounds. The AK-47 mag is a little bit longer and heavier by virtue of it being steel, which again, there's metal mags for the AR and there's polymer mags for the AK, so we'll throw that out. Let's look at the rounds themselves for a second here. Here's going to be your 7.62 by 39, and as you can see, that's what that one looks like. And there is your 5.56 round for the AR-15. Both of them side by side. You can see that the 7.62 is a little bit shorter, but is a much bigger projectile than the 5.56. So here you have the adage of big and somewhat slower, small and somewhat faster. The big thing here for shit hitting the fan scenario, prepper scenario, whatever, is going to be availability. How much of this ammunition is out there? How widely is it scattered? How heavy is the ammunition? How much can you carry with you, etc. So for that reason, I give the edge to the 5.56. This is no slouch. It absolutely performs well. I have some of this. Obviously, I have an AK. For a hunting round, this is a better round than the 5.56, although the 5.56 will work. So that is what it's going to be. I realize people are saying you can stockpile, etc., and that's debatable, but even if you do, you can't carry your whole stockpile with you. So wait. Entering into it means that you can have more 5.56 than you can carry 7.62. And the other thing is what you are likely to encounter. The 5.56 is currently in use by a lot of police departments and the military. So there you go. I think it's going to be about enough of the prepper talk so much here, but as far as learning to use both of these firearms, they're both relatively straightforward. The AK-47 manual of operations is insert mag, pull that charging handle like I showed you earlier. The safety on this model, up is safe, down is fire. It is a semi-automatic, so each time you pull this trigger, the bolt is going to reciprocate, eject the spent casing, and put a new one in the chamber for you. And from that point on, you shoot until the magazine is empty. And then you put a new magazine and continue shooting. So these guns are good. They are reliable. Their reliability, like other guns, is going to be dependent on how well you maintain them, which we'll have to do another video on. Maybe a 4-part series. I'm not even sure. I'm going to put out general firearms maintenance videos anyway for different models of guns, so stay tuned for that. I'll get to them when I can. Now, going over to the AR-15, because I didn't show you guys too much in the first video. So you can see this one's got a few more bells and whistles on it. We'll talk about that more here in a second. Here's where your magazine goes, and there are varying magazine capacities that will work with this gun. 10 round, 15 round, 20 round, 30 round, on up. But we'll go with the standard capacity, just 30 rounds. Magazine goes in. Your charging handle on this gun is located here, this T-shaped device. Put 2 fingers on it, pull it back, let it go forward. Don't ride it forward, let it do its thing, and you will be ready to go. Safety selector is most commonly found on the left side of the firearm, so it is tailored for right-handed shooters, although they do often have replaceable safety selectors that are ambidextrous for you lefties out there, or guys that want to learn how to operate a gun ambidextrously, which is never a bad idea. Move your safety selector down so that it is now pointing technically up in the fire position, and shoot the gun until it's empty. It is also a semi-automatic. The interesting thing about this is it will only allow you to put the weapon on safe if the hammer inside is cocked. In other words, if the gun is cocked, whether there's a round in the chamber or not, you can only engage that safety if the weapon has been cocked. Going down through here, collapsible, adjustable buttstock, very nice, very important. And then, and that's not always the case on ARs. Sorry, I'm thinking of stuff as I go. Some AR-15s have fixed stocks. A lot of the A1 and A2 variants, the stock does not move. You could change that out if you wanted to. Again, these guns are highly customizable. Both of them are. I think the AR is a little bit easier to work on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into what's on this gun and why. Up top, I do have a red dot. Iron sights are just fine. I think it's important to learn to shoot with iron sights. However, it would just be erroneous to say that a dot is not better. Even with the technological liability of having technology that can fail, needing to keep batteries around, this uses a 2032 button cell battery, lasts a long time, and they're easy to have a few around. The dot is faster. It allows you to acquire your target faster. It gives you a cleaner sight picture, so what you're seeing through the sights is going to be cleaner. It's going to allow you to have more precision when you shoot. I do have backup iron sights that push button, flip up affairs. They work just fine. So there is that. These are good things to have. They are there in case that technology fails. The way this optic is set up a little bit higher off this rail section, I can see through my red dot, even if the dot is down, if the glass is broken, whatever, I can see through this housing and use my iron sights that way. So if you run a dot on your rifle, red dot, other electro optic, I would advise having some backup iron sights ready to go. The next thing, this dangly bit, this sling, a sling is a good idea because you can only carry, even as light as these guns are, you can only carry them for so long before they get really heavy. So having a sling, if you're out moving around your feet, the sling allows you to do things with your hands. You can sling it around behind you if need be, so that now you have nothing in front of you while still maintaining the ability to bring that rifle around fairly quickly. So with this sling, you can carry it here, take the weight off of you. You can get up and fire from this position if need be. You can loosen it up and be shooting, swim out of it if need be. So just pop out like that, bring it over, and switch which side you're engaging with. So that is good if you're injured or you're going around cover this way, you need to go around the other way. Won't get too far down that rabbit hole. That's stuff you'll learn if you take some good quality training. It's important. You can learn the basics of shooting a firearm fairly easily, but the basics of operating one in adverse conditions, things like that, that's going to come through instruction and, more importantly, practice. So the other thing I've got on here, going to be this light up front. I have it, this is a Olight M2R Warrior Pro. I have a whole video on the unboxing of this light. I'll put up there in a card if you're interested. Great handheld light and also a good weapons mounted light. So cool thing about having a light on a rifle, or any gun for that matter, is it's very important to make sure that, number one, if you need to shoot somebody, you can make that decision. Number two, if you don't need to shoot somebody, you can make that decision. Sage Dynamics, check him out. He's got a video saying that weapons mounted lights are mandatory. Highly advise you to check that out. It's important. The way I have this light rigged up is with a pressure pad here, so I can reach under, hit this, and turn the light on very easily without fiddling with the buttons on the light itself. Got some extra gurus here. This is personal preference. You don't have to add this stuff. Vertical foregrip, so that you can one of the ways of shooting this rifle like this. I also have a hand stop up here, so I can come way out like that, and I can sandwich my hand between this hand stop and this vertical foregrip like here, and I have good access to my light. This is normally how I operate. I like the leverage it gives me. I like having this here in case I need to run it up to a barricade. That's going to be you. You're going to figure out what you like in a rifle, how you want to run it, and just the preferences that you have. That just kind of comes from, like, think about adjusting the seat in your car. You wouldn't make a whole bunch of adjustments without figuring out, how high do you want it, where do you want the lumbar support, how close to the dash. It comes from driving the car. You figure out what you like. So metaphorically, drive your car. If you get a gun, go out there, practice with it. I am going to have a presentation coming up soon in light of the ammo, I wouldn't say shortage yet. I think production will catch up eventually, but right now ammo is kind of hard to find, and when you can find it, it is a little bit more expensive. So I'll have a whole presentation coming up on things you can do to practice in light of reduced access to ammunition. So outside of doing live fire, there are things you can do to help you become more familiar and proficient with your firearms, particularly handguns, but also rifles as well. So as a fan, I just wanted to put these two out there because most of the conversations that I was having with people were AK-47 versus AR-15. Both of these guns are going to be good choices. Both of these guns will probably do what you need them to. Hopefully you don't need them to do a whole lot. Both of these guns, if taken care of, will most likely outlive you. One caveat to the AR-15, there are plenty of reviews out there. I'm not going to start endorsing specific brands, trashing other brands, anything like that, because inevitably it will lead to a shit show in the comments. I will say that I have had DPMSs that I've run thousands of rounds through and been just fine, and I will say that other people have had guns from the same manufacturers that haven't had such good luck. This one here is a Springfield St. Victor. Haven't had a whole lot of rounds to this. It's a fairly new purchase before everything went to hell. So far so good. So there's going to be just an abundance of AR-15 manufacturers. I think I saw a list the other day, something like 200 different manufacturers of AR-15s in the US. So get out there, look at some reviews. Don't spend so much on your rifle itself that you can't afford ammunition, an optic for it, whatever things you think you need. Remember that those are some accessories that you need to have available. I would absolutely say that if nothing else, a light is mandatory. I tend to subscribe to that way of thinking that it's the responsible thing to do. Weapons lights have come far enough now that they are within reach for most people, I think. And all it takes is making it a priority, right? So if it's not a priority to you, you'll always find ways to convince yourself you don't need it. I think a lot of people are realizing that with firearms in general. So put a light on your gun. If you're unsure if your gun can take a light, look it up, guys. I promise you most of them can. And there's a bunch of reviews on people's opinions on lights as well. So all I can do is put out what has worked for me and what I have found out through testing stuff here. So I hope this helps you out. Stay tuned for part 3, which is going to be going over handguns. There's a lot of misconceptions about handguns, calibers, etc. So we're going to be addressing good calibers in handguns. We're going to be addressing how to practice using a handgun, essentials for having a handgun and carrying one. And we're also going to go over a little bit, I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole, of reputable brands and things like that. And I'm a little bit more comfortable speaking on the handgun front just because it's primarily what my channel is. I enjoy shooting a variety of things, but I absolutely love shooting handguns. It's what I shoot most of. So that's going to be part 3, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Again, if you haven't watched the first part of the series, go ahead and check that other video out. I know these videos are a little bit more lengthy, but I've tried to go in depth and let you guys see more than just a broad overview. I've tried to give you guys answers to questions so you don't have to ask additional ones. So I apologize if it's been tedious. I've done my best to make it not so, and I apologize for the dog. Again, my long-term viewers know neighbor's dog does not like gunfire. Even though I haven't shot today, I guess hearing the weapons get racked, he probably thought that was coming. So I've gotten good at tuning him out. I think most of my long-term viewers have as well, so I hope you can too. Don't hate me because of him. I can't control him. So stay safe, guys. Please be rational. Absolutely be prudent, be prepared, and be mindful. Do a little bit of emotional inoculation. Worst case, best case, prepare yourself somewhere in the middle. Actually, you probably should prepare for all the way around, but try to live in that middle road, guys. Don't instantly go to worst case. Don't instantly go to best case. Be realistic, be smart, be calm. As a nation, we've gotten through worse than this, so I think we'll be all right. I think we need to come together, be responsible, stay 6 feet away. So hence why I'm talking to you over a camera. That's the other thing. If you want training, right now it's going to be kind of hard to find good trainers, good responsible trainers that are still offering classes, because a lot of that involves being closer than 6 to 8 feet. I think that you can get a lot of stuff from watching videos, not just mine. I don't do a whole lot of training on here, but there are other channels that you can check out. Sage Dynamics again, John Lovell with Warrior Poets Society, Clint Smith with Thunder Ranch. They all bring up some excellent things. I would absolutely check them out. Modern Samurai Project, I may have that wrong. I'll try to link to his channel in the description, or to all these channels in the description, to give you guys some good resources. There are a lot of things they can bring up. They all have their unique approaches. Most trainers do. The reputable ones are going to be pretty easy to spot. Most of what they teach is going to be stuff that's widely accepted, widely repeated in the firearms community. If you come across guys like, Voda, for instance, aka Lucian Black, or Michael Thurville, whatever name he's going by now, stay away from that guy. Stuff looks like they're the first ones to figure something out. It's not that they figured it out, it's just that most people with common sense over the years have said, hey, this is stupid, we're not going to do this, it's getting people hurt or killed, or it's not efficient, and they rule that out. So stick to reputable trainers. The guys I listed, they don't really know me. I don't get any kickback from you watching their stuff. Actually, it's against my interest as a YouTuber to send you away from my channel, but they are more qualified than I am to teach you that stuff, and their video production shows that. So I hope that I have helped you guys out. If I have, and you want to see more gun content, please hit that subscribe button for me and give me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. I'm still a growing channel, so every view, every like, every sub, every comment, if you had something that you want to know, hit me in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. Things are a little hard right now for me to get back to everybody instantaneously, but I will eventually get back to you, I promise. So if you got questions, hit me in the comments. Stay safe, practice shooting, practice dry firing, which we'll go over here soon, and I'll see you next time.